Hi, I'm Gabriella. My life was once defined by hurt, betrayal, pain, and the belief that love was something to fear. I thought I would never be able to move forward, but God had a different plan for me. In her treasured love, you'll walk alongside me as I navigate the complexities of healing from past wounds and learn what it means to embrace the love God offers, even when I felt unworthy. It's a story of overcoming fear, finding restoration, and learning to trust again. New chapters will be uploaded every Thursday, so be sure to subscribe and stay connected. After listening, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. And if you know someone who could benefit from this story, please share it with them. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. Gabriella. Sophia called. Did you hear a word I said? Gabriella shifted in her seat and glanced up, recognizing the concern in Sophia's eyes. What's wrong? You know you can tell me anything, Sophia insisted with a whisper. Nothing's wrong, Sophia. Why would you think that? Sophia's eyes fell onto the plate of chicken lasagna in front of Gabriella. You have been picking at that for the past 10 minutes and haven't responded to anything I've said. Sophia sighed. Are you not happy to be here now? Gabriella struggled to smile. Of course I am. You know that. Why don't I believe you, Gabby? Gabriella exhaled and laid her fork on the plate as she leaned back against her chair. Sophia, I love your home and the garden outside. I can't wait for us to start working on it together, she smiled. Gabby, you said that an hour ago when we got here from the airport. Sophia sighed in frustration. How long have we known each other, Gabby? Since you and your parents moved to Jamaica. And you and I were, 10 years old? Yeah, Gabriella nodded. 10 years old, 2 years before we started high school. We were inseparable throughout high school. Even when my parents and I moved back to Rome at the end of Dad's contract with the hotel, you and I never lost touch. Don't you think I know by now when something is bothering you? You always keep things from me and try to deal with them on your own. Do you know how much that hurts? You're right, Sophia. It's time I stopped. Gabriella inhaled. It dawned on me as I stepped through your front door that Mom and Dad are really gone. Her expression grew blank while her heart stabbed against her chest. She placed her hand on her heart, closed her eyes and took deep breaths to steady her nerves. Tears settled in her eyes. I know they are dead, but our home in Jamaica still had most of our belongings. Knowing that kind of felt as if they were there, which helped me get through this. Now I have to learn to embrace each day without them. Sophia stretched her hand across the table towards Gabriella and entwined her fingers through hers. Gabby, I want to remind you of something you shared with me about your parents. A smile formed on Sophia's face. You said your parents told you that if for any strange reason they were taken from you prematurely, they wouldn't want you to feel alone. They told you they saw how much my parents loved you. That you should embrace my family as your own without feeling guilty. And if Sam is still missing when they pass, you should not stay alone in Jamaica. They said to mourn them and then let them go, but move on, loving my family wholeheartedly as you did yours. Let my family help you hold on to hope that Sam will be found. Gabriella smiled and nodded as tears escaped her eyes. She wiped them away with one finger and said, I remember what Mom and Dad said, but after completing university I kept thinking, what if I leave and Sam returned? How will I know? I understand, but wasn't 4 years of waiting way too long? Sophia pointed out. The waiting wasn't an issue for me, really. What weighed on me was feeling discouraged. I knew if I had stayed any longer, I would have sunk into depression, she sniffled. It was then that Mom and Dad suggested having your family around to help me hold on to hope made sense. Gabby, Sophia's voice cracked by Gabriella's tears, you are my sister and I love you so much even if we're not blood related. I'm glad you're here now. We'll stay hopeful together, and my parents will fill you with encouragement to strengthen your faith in Sam's return. Let's say a prayer for Sam, Sophia gently suggested. All right, Gabriella nodded and closed her eyes. Father, she said, thank you for giving me hope to believe that Sam is still out there. I ask you, Lord, to send an angel to guide him and order his steps in your hands so that wherever he may be, he is still walking in your will. Let your angels guard him and give him discernment to know whom to trust and bring him back safely. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, Sophia added. Gabriella picked up her glass of orange juice and took a deep breath. Sophia, there's a reason why I don't tell you things until I've had time to process them. Sophia leaned back into her chair. Really, and why is that? Do you remember our sleepovers back in high school where I shared something I did which I was afraid to tell Mom and Dad? Yeah, I remember. You went to your parents to ask their opinion about it and told me what they suggested I do. Sophia nodded. Well, I was still nervous about going to them about it, so I never did. A week later, my parents confronted me after having had dinner with your parents. Came up in their conversation. Mom and Dad told me I had disappointed them by not telling them, and a little hurt that I felt the need to keep it from them. I felt bad for that, knowing they loved me. Since that night, things changed for the better because you told them. However, I somehow felt scared to continue telling you important things, thinking you might go to the wrong person to talk about it. Why didn't you tell me before? I didn't want you to feel guilty because you did it with good intentions. Sophia sighed and smiled. Thanks for opening up to me. I will try hard not to let you down from now on, okay? I would love that, Gabriella smiled, because you're all I have to share everything with now. She took a deep breath. There is something that happened after Mom and Dad died that I want to share with you, but not now. I'll tell you about it after I have settled in. Great. I have an idea, Sophia enthusiastically chimed. What's that? Let's dance to celebrate your arrival. It always puts us in a good mood. It does, but since Mom and Dad died, it doesn't feel the same. They were the reason I grew to love dancing. Dad loved reggae music and Mom loved salsa. You would never know they came from different backgrounds. Watching them dance and seeing how they connected always made me feel as if I could have a special connection with my one true love. They were really great dancers, Sophia smiled, and you will have what they had as well. You will. How about we listen to some of our favorite Jorge Bozero songs while we talk? Yeah, we can do that, Sophia agreed, pushing her chair back. I'll go grab my phone, be right back. Gabriella picked up her fork and heaped lasagna onto it, savoring the taste. A few minutes later, Sophia sat back in her chair. This is delicious. Gabriella inhaled before she drank the rest of her orange juice. I know, Sophia smirked. She fiddled through her phone until she found her song selection and laid the phone on the table. Tell me again, how long have you lived here in Milan? Gabriella asked. 3.5 years now, and I'm glad I came here right after college. Rome can be so boring, she drawled. But Milan. She became filled with excitement as if she were savoring something delicious. Is full of life and fashion, and you know me and fashion. Gabriella smiled. I sure do, but don't get any ideas about giving me any makeovers anytime soon. I like my conservative look. Yeah, boring is what I call it, Sophia interjected. Well, I will keep my boring look. I enjoy dressing modestly, unlike you who likes to be the center of attention. Gabriella eyed her in jest. By the way, how often do you visit your parents in Rome? Sophia elaborated. I try to see them every 2 weeks. You know they didn't want me to move so far away from home, but when Dad heard the job offer at the accounting firm provided a great package, including health insurance, he gave me his blessing and convinced Mum to do the same. I remember you telling me over the phone and how your mum cried when you left. I know they are proud of you for wanting to be independent. I feel nervous to see them. Gabriella placed the fork down on the plate. The last 2 months have been so busy for me. Not only that, but I never had time to call them. Don't worry about that. I informed them about how you were, and they can't wait to see you. I want to surprise them, Sophia. Gabby, I thought for sure you would have followed in your parents' footsteps. Become a doctor like your dad or a nurse like your mom. Me? No way, I can't stand the sight of blood. I was born to be a painter. I thought you were a little confused when you told me you were also studying accounts at the university, Sophia recalled, puzzled. Well, you don't expect me to hire someone to do my accounts when I could do it myself, Gabriella stated. Did you get to display your paintings in the gallery at which you worked after completing university? I did, sold a couple and donated most of the rest before I arrived here, 3 of which I saved and brought with me. Gabriella pushed her chair back and stood up. She reached for her and Sophia's empty glasses. What are you doing? Sophia asked, knitting her brows. I'm feeling worn out now. I'm going to wash these before I shower and go to bed. Sophia mischievously glared at Gabriella. Gabby, you think I'm going to feed you and let you wash your dishes? You haven't even settled in yet. Go take a nice hot shower and get a good night's sleep. I won't argue with that. Gabriella gave Sophia a peck on the cheek. Good night, Sophia. Good night, Gabby. I'll give you the grand tour of Milan in a few days. You're going to love it. Can't wait for that, she beamed, sauntering off to the bathroom. That's it for today's chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next episode and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss it. If this story speaks to you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next chapter.